Welcome to musicovermatter. Today we are once again talking about The Weeknd. It's been a month since Hurry Up Tomorrow came out, so we feel it is a good time. We've had it for long enough to finally rank The Weeknd albums. Let me get this out of the way before we start anything. This is our opinion. Albums have to be at 10. Albums have to be at 9. It's not how it works. This has to be everything has to be top 3. That's not how it works. Okay?
Also, there's not a Weeknd album that I hate.
Every Weeknd album is at least a 7 to me. Okay,
Yeah,
so don't get butt hurt.
It is really hard ranking these.
I listen to so much of The Weeknd, it's not even funny. So let's get started. We're going to be going in order of releases, and we're going to be sharing what placement we have each album at.
Yeah, so we only have to talk about it once.
Exactly. So let's get started with House of Balloons. All right, where do you have House of Balloons?
I have House of Balloons as my second favorite Weeknd album.
I have it at 3.
You have it at 3.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a good start. I really hope we don't have similar lists either.
Me neither. I'm here to debate a little.
Yeah. I hope we don't have similar lists, but we'll see. I think it's actually surprising we both don't have it at 1. I feel like a lot of people probably have it at 1.
There's not many criticisms I could say about the album at all. Mm-hmm. That's why I have it at my number 2. There's this dark theme of the whole album that I absolutely love that no other artist or even The Weeknd has hit that same note that House of Balloons has.
In my opinion, this is the greatest mixtape of all time.
There's so much like self-indulgent on this album, like a After Party, Coming Down, like a lot of those songs in the second half that are some of my favorite Weeknd songs of all time just on this album. The Knowing, Loft Music, The Morning, Wicked Games.
The most surprising thing about House of Balloons, I think, there's only a handful of these, I feel like, where you listen to this album and you think, how did you make this? How were you so blessed by God to make this thing for real? Everything about it is perfect. It's one of the best full listening experiences, but it also has a bunch of really good single songs as well.
Yeah, and there's a cohesiveness throughout the entire thing, how the party goes into Coming Down. Like there's subtle things like that just make it so cohesive for a mixtape. We're
saying a lot of good things, and you might be saying like, why isn't it number 1? For me, I don't know about you, for me it's not number 1 because I find myself going back to it less than the albums I have higher than it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, and there's like little critiques that I could talk about. Coming Down is a little boring compared to some of the other tracks.
What You Need is kind of
it's like one of the forgettable tracks on there. I don't like Glass Table Girls that much. Like there's little critiques.
That's crazy to me, but yeah.
There's little critiques about it that's why I have it at number 2. But listening to the songs as single, but as a whole album, I'm not skipping any of those. They fit it perfectly. So
one of my favorite things is seeing people listen to House of Balloons for the first time. There's other music reactors that did it, like Bob Pop or whatever, the older rock dude that like turned into a music reactor.
The
older guy.
I forget.
His reaction to it is phenomenal. I think John Denton did it. Yeah. Like a few of these guys like listened to House of Balloons for the first time, and it's like, fuck, I wish I could do that because it's so good.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite tracks on it. The Morning is a very nostalgic track for me. That was my alarm for like 3 years of my life.
Yeah, I remember hearing it a few mornings.
Yeah. I would wake up to that and then go to work. Loft Music. I listen to that, I'm like, how did you make this on your first project? How did you make Loft Music?
Yeah, Loft Music is one of the songs that got me really into The Weeknd. I used to bump that shit like really hard.
I would say Loft Music is one of those songs that if someone wanted to get in The Weeknd, you have to show them Loft Music because that encompasses The Weeknd up until like Dawn FM, basically.
Jesus, I got chills talking about Loft Music.
Yeah, same. Oh, disgusting. And then The Knowing, of course. High for this, as an intro, I like it, but it's not one of my favorite Weeknd intros.
Yeah, he is.
I like the drop and stuff, but there's a lot of better intros, in my opinion, that The Weeknd does. So House of Balloons, number 3 for me.
Number 2 for me.
If you're enjoying the Weeknd album ranking video so far, be sure to scroll down and hit that subscribe button for us for more hip-hop related content. And let's get back to it.
The next Weeknd album is Thursday. So for me, I have this at number 6.
I have it at 7. Thursday used to be my least favorite Weeknd project, period. It's really grown on me. 7 is pretty much where it's like sits at. The highs on Thursday are very high. Like Lonely Star, that song is unbelievable. The beat on that song, his performance, the writing. It seems like pain and regret are your best friends. And then second verse, you don't need your best friends when like you're with me and stuff. Oh, this is disgusting, bro. But it also has like some lows. I don't like Rolling Stone. The Zone is all right. I like the Birds. Both Birds.
I like part 2 a lot.
Heaven or Las Vegas is like a guilty pleasure song for me. Not only is it good, but like we live in Las Vegas, so it's like cool, I guess.
Yeah, there's like little critiques about it. I feel like the production is worse on this than House of Balloons.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, like Rolling Stone, I'm not a huge fan of. The Zone, I really like. I think I probably like The Zone more than you. I think Drake has a really good part on there too. The hook is really good on there.
Oh, I like The Zone. It's just not one of those that stick out. See, this is one of those where I'm like, damn, it needs to be higher. But that's not how it works.
Yeah,
that's not how it works. Something needs to be here.
There's not a lot of critiques I have for it. Like Gone is probably one of my favorite Weeknd songs ever. The production
the
on
ambience
there
on Gone is crazy.
is crazy. Birds Part 2, just like how I love the after party, the self-indulgent on that song is crazy. I love it.
Maybe what it really comes down to is it just doesn't have the atmosphere of other Weeknd albums. Or even if you're comparing it to House of Balloons, it doesn't have the same cohesiveness almost. It's still dark. Like it's super dark, super raw. Like that's what's good about the Weeknd.
That's why I have it so low. I feel like the atmosphere is less than other projects I have above it.
Thursday at 7 for me.
Thursday at 6.
Before we move on,
Okay.
I want to listen to Lonely Star. Oh, God, bro.
That's a fucking amazing way to start an album.
Of course, next is Echoes of Silence. What do you have it at?
I have Echoes at 9.
I also have it at 9.
Okay. Echoes of Silence, I feel like has some of the Weeknd's most forgettable tracks on it.
Absolutely.
That is why I have it so low.
I like, before you continue, sorry, I like the atmosphere of Echoes of Silence more than Thursday.
Me too. It's very ambient compared to Thursday. Which I really enjoy. I feel like this album starts very well and then it starts falling off kind of at the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or DD, I guess. Amazing way to start the album. Montreal is probably one of my favorite like atmospheric Weeknd songs.
Montreal is phenomenal. Yeah. That track is crazy, bro.
Outside is like almost one of the songs that show the essence of the Weeknd. I feel like that's a song that you need to be showing someone getting into the Weeknd. EXO the Host. What else do I need to say about that?
Oh, that song too, bro. The songs are more forgettable and weaker, but they're not bad. The Fall are still phenomenal. Next is still good. I don't like Next that much, but it is good. Echoes of Silence, that's one of those tracks. There's nothing that sounds like Echoes of Silence. I've mentioned it before, that stupid tweet that goes viral, like, the Weeknd used to make haunted stripper. Echoes of Silence is actually haunted stripper music. Like, that is crazy, bro. But yeah, it's just, the songs are just weaker.
I still love the album, like front to back, but taking singles out of it, there's not a lot.
Let's listen to Montreal, sorry.
Okay.
We gotta listen. Dusty.
Yeah.
God damn. That shit hasn't been moved. That's the issue. That shit has not.
Okay, Kissland.
If you watch this channel, you know where I have this bitch. It's at number 1, baby. Kissland number 1.
Kissland for me is at number 3.
I'm surprised it's that high for you, actually. I thought this would be low for you.
Dude, I had trouble with swapping this or House of Balloons.
Yeah.
I ended up putting House of Balloons at number 2, but this is so close to that.
Can I talk?
Oh yeah.
Sorry. No.
Oh, of course.
I'm saying I want to take control.
Oh
of this
yeah. No, of course.
Okay.
I know that.
Kissland to me is the Weeknd. This album has completely summarized his entire career, especially now with Hurry Up Tomorrow. It has summarized his entire career with before it even happened. The entire Kissland is all about being famous and ending up hating it and losing everything that you had because you are famous. Or like you're getting fame. And that is exactly what just happened with Hurry Up Tomorrow. Let me calm down. This shit, dude.
This is your favorite album of all time. So
this is, I didn't even mention that. This is my favorite album of all time. We'll start at the end. I could make a video and sit down and talk about why Tears in the Rain is the greatest Weeknd song and one of the greatest songs of all time. I could sit there for 30 minutes on Tears in the Rain alone. Kissland, I can make a 3-hour video. I'm not even kidding. Tears in the Rain is my favorite song of all time. Tears in the Rain is just perfect atmosphere, perfect messaging, perfect writing. There's a swap in it. It's disgusting. let's go back. The cohesion of Kissland is one of the greatest atmospheres the Weeknd has done.
100%.
You feel like you are famous and you hate it listening to this thing. I don't know how he does it, whether it's the beats, I don't know what it is.
I think it is the production. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. His atmosphere, he kind of went back to a House of Balloons atmosphere.
But in a different way.
And the production matches that by making it way more like maximalist. And then he went more into using synths on this album way more than Trilogy, while keeping the Weeknd as the forefront.
Yeah, this has the transition between Adaptation, Love in the Sky, and Belong to the World. A 3-track run that is unbelievable. I can't believe in our ranking the new Trilogy songs, when we were talking about transitions, I didn't mention Love in the Sky and Belong to the World, and I want to kill myself for that. For real. How did I miss that? Starts with Professional, super dark, like really drives home that like you only care about money, you've sold your soul type thing. Of course, he's talking about a stripper there, but it's obviously meant to be a reflection of himself at that point.
Yeah.
Then it goes to The Town. When I first started listening to The Weeknd and like really got into him, I did not like The Town. Now, The Town is easily a top 10 Weeknd track for me. Adaptation, of course, has been top 10 for a while. Love in the Sky and Belong to the World are what you're talking about with that maximalist. Like, it is so grand and like dark and empty at the same time. This is how good this album is. It has Live For on it, which I hate Live For, but the rest of the album completely makes up for it. Then you have Wanderlust. Wanderlust is one of those songs I think you have to show someone when you're showing The Weeknd, because it's a different side of The Weeknd. Like, let's say we've shown them the tracks that we've already discussed. Those are super dark. And then Wanderlust is like this upbeat, but what he's talking about is not. And then you have Kissland. That's again, that is maximalist. That's probably the craziest production on the entire album. Roller coasters, crazy, like drum hits and synth. Bro, Kissland is crazy. Beat switch.
Yeah.
And then trying to tell the listener this ain't something you can relate to. Bro, come on. Come on. And then Pretty. Pretty is good.
Yeah.
It's definitely the most forgettable.
Forgettable.
And then you finish off with Tears in the Rain. Everything about Tears in the Rain, bro. Okay. We have to listen. I'm sorry. How can I talk that much and not listen to Tears in the Rain? I forgot to mention Tears in the Rain, bro. I'm such a dumbass.
Yeah, you forgot to mention it. The whole story.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Tears in the Rain. No, I'm joking. I have to mention the story first. The reason I think Tears in the Rain is so good is because the song starts out with "They all feel the same." You don't really know what he's talking about. They all feel the same. Like, okay. But then at the end of his first verse, every girl I touch, they all feel the same. Now the entire song has a completely different view in your mind.
What a Michael Jackson song does that? Billie Jean, right? You said?
Yes, Billie Jean does that. Okay, thank you for bringing that up because I keep forgetting. Billie Jean does that exact same thing. The song starts out, okay, I kind of understand what he's saying. And then Michael explains it. Oh shit, bro.
And it gives the chorus a new meaning.
Yeah, and you re-listen to the song and it has a completely different view in your mind. You completely understand it differently. Disgusting. All right, Beauty Behind the Madness.
I'm just at number 10.
Yep. Fuck.
Damn. If you asked me a few years ago, I said this is my favorite Weeknd album. Now it's at the bottom.
Okay, let's explain ourselves. Again, something has to be here. But with that said, there is zero debate for me that this is his worst.
The highs on this album are some of his highest highs ever.
Yep.
But the lows are his lowest.
Absolutely.
Every other song is hit or miss.
This to me has his, by far actually, his worst atmosphere of a project. There is zero cohesion. There's not a sound to this project. Beauty Behind the Madness to me disguises itself as a dark album, but it's really a pop album. Visually looks dark. Oh, you have this. You have the hits like The Hills. But if you actually listen to it, it is a pop album. Okay, you have Real Life, which is an all right intro. You have Losers. I hate Losers. I actually skipped this song.
Yeah, it aged terribly.
Here's the only run on this entire album. You have Tell Your Friends Often, The Hills, Acquainted, Can't Feel My Face, Shameless. Okay, there's a 6-track run there. Hold on. 6-track run.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, 6-track run. But that's what I'm saying. every Weeknd album is a 7. Minimum. This is still a 7,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Tell Your Friends.
One of the best Weeknd songs ever.
Often. Phenomenal track. The Hills is, of course, the best song on this project, I'd say.
I Tell Your Friends is the best song.
No, you're right. Hills is the most popular, sorry.
Yeah.
Acquainted.
Pretty good. It's like kind of middle of the road for his discog, though.
Can't Feel My Face. When it comes on, I like it. But then when it goes off,
Like, what did I get out of it?
Shameless, one of the Weeknd's best performances. Earned It. I don't like.
I don't like this song either.
Okay, and then we get into In the Night, which is a phenomenal Weeknd track, and I think In the Night has a lot of nostalgia for me. That was the first Weeknd song I ever heard. As You Are, Dark Times, Prisoner, Angel. Let's just start with Dark Times. That song is complete cheeks.
That one song just lowers the whole album by like so much.
Absolutely.
Just how bad it is.
As You Are, Prisoner, and Angel, they're all good songs, but they don't stick out.
For me, I think I put those songs on a higher pedestal than you do. I love As You Are. The atmosphere of it. I love how it changes at the end to like super ambient. Angel I really like too. It's just a song you don't get much out of.
So that's Beauty Behind the Madness, both at 10.
Next, we have Starboy. I have this at number 4.
I have it at 2.
Wow. It was kind of hard putting that at 4. I feel like I wish I could put it higher, but, you know, something has to go at the 4 spot.
Yeah. Starboy is the album I go back to the most in his entire discog.
It has grown on me a lot since 2016.
Same. I mentioned with Beauty Behind the Madness, it is a pop album that disguises itself as dark. Starboy is the opposite. It is a dark album that disguises itself as pop.
That's something that made me enjoy it more, is realizing, yes, the instrumentals are a little more upbeat, but what he's talking about is some of his darkest stuff he's made since like Kissland.
The way he does pop on this one is completely different. Like listening to Starboy all the way through is such a good time. An example of what we're talking about with the dark pop thing is Starboy, the intro.
Yeah.
Crazy, like confident, cocky, like look what you've done type thing. He's also saying some dark stuff, like right before the hook, switch my cup, I kill any pain.
Yeah.
Like he's just like throwing that in there. You're like, by the way, I'm a drug addict still.
Yeah.
But you didn't even hear that because you're too worried about the right? It's like,
yeah, and how like upbeat it is, but he's like just saying some like really dark stuff in it.
Party Monster, I think everyone knows, is like, that song's a masterpiece. But it also has my second favorite Weeknd track of all time, which is Ordinary Life. God, that song, bro. And also this has some of my, in my opinion, the most slept on Weeknd songs, and like some of my favorite with Love to Lay and A Lonely Night. Oh my God, these tracks, bro.
Are those sleepers? Because like
people don't
those we've
listen
been
to that
listening
shit.
to like, it feels like our whole life.
People don't listen to that shit. And it's sad because those songs are like really good.
Yeah.
So good. There's some tracks on Starboy that I don't really like either, like True Colors, Nothing Without You, I Feel It Coming. Yeah, Starboy at 2 for me.
Yep. Number 4 for me.
Next is My Dear Melancholy.
I have this at number 1. This is my favorite Weeknd album, even though it's like 6 tracks plus an acapella.
I have it at 8.
You have it that low?
8. Go into why you like it.
I think this has some of the Weeknd's best performances ever.
Absolutely.
And the atmosphere is one of his best ever.
Yeah, his work with Giuseppe Stein, disgusting.
Intro track, Call Out My Name, is one of his, or if not his, best performance on a song ever.
I would say it is his best performance ever.
Because his emotion that you feel through his singing, and how the hook changes every time, and it gets more and more hard to listen to almost.
Yeah.
And his background vocals that support him too. Like I could talk about that song a lot.
Throughout this entire album, you can feel his emotion. Like this is the first Weeknd album where he's actually showing some.
And maybe that's why I like it so much. Just the atmosphere that he's able to bring on it. There's not 1 second of a song that I don't like.
For me, why it's at 8, time length. I can't put it above fully fledged albums. To go along with that, this doesn't have an atmosphere outside of the album. The only era with My Dear Melancholy is the album. I agree, this is his best performances singing wise. A song like I Was Never There sounds nothing like anything else in his entire discography.
Yeah. I think I love it so much is because how much emotion he brings out through each track. Oh, and not to mention Privilege.
All right, next is After Hours.
I have it at 8.
Okay, I have it at 6.
You have a little higher than me. I have it right above Echoes.
People mentioned it with our Hurry Up Tomorrow reaction and on our ranking new trilogy songs. Can't believe we don't like After Hours. The story of After Hours and stuff is so good. The songs themselves, that's why it's at 6 for me.
Yeah, this album has a really, I mean, we've mentioned it, like,
We don't have to go into it too much
because we've mentioned it
yeah.
like so many times throughout this entire month.
Yeah.
Since Hurry Up Tomorrow. Yeah, the album, there's so many weak tracks at the beginning that I'm never going to go back to. After that, super high highs with a few duds in the middle, like repeat after me. The atmosphere on this album is also, again, one of his best atmospheres. Yeah, things outside the album influence how much I like certain songs.
Yeah.
Because of the atmosphere, like how he had the short film beforehand that developed the character.
The highs are immensely high. Faith, Blinding Lights, After Hours. It doesn't take away from the fact that there are some very weird songs on there, man. Too Late, Snow Child, Scared to Live, Hardest to Love. These songs are not good. They are bad. I think what it really comes down to with albums, for me, ranking albums period, is if I can look at a song and be like, that's filler. It did nothing. Too Late, for example, take that song out.
Nothing changes.
That does nothing. Even songs I don't like Repeat After Me. These songs actually contribute though.
Yeah,
like,
they develop,
really important.
They develop the character and the story.
They're really important. If you want to go listen to us talk about it more, go watch our trilogy ranking. All right, before we get into this, what spaces do you still have open?
I have 7 and 5 open.
I have 5 and 4. Next is Dawn FM. I have it at 5.
I have Dawn FM at 7.
Okay.
Right above After Hours.
This is a really hard one for me to put at 5. Dawn FM's a masterpiece. The reason I think Dawn FM is better than After Hours, because that's what people actually care about, I think.
Yeah.
They don't care where it's ranked. How dare you put Dawn FM above? Because Dawn FM stuck to a sound.
I mean, going into that, who's the producer? OPN or something. He produced almost the entire album. Yeah. He has production credits on like almost every song, which shows a lot of cohesion throughout the entire thing.
And also, I just like that sound. I really like synthwave. Maybe it's not as dark, which people would think, like, if they know my preference in Weeknd music, they'd be like, oh, you like After Hours 100% more than Dawn FM. It has weak songs like Here We Go Again, I Heard You're Married. There was a comment on our new trilogy ranking that someone said, like, notice how there's no Dawn FM in D.
Yeah.
And that pretty much summarizes Dawn FM. And the listening experience is really good. Speaking about cohesion, it's a radio station. You have an ad in it. There is that purposefulness to the track list. What it really comes down to for me personally is the highs are unbelievable on this album. This has some of my favorite Weeknd tracks of all time. Best Friends, my favorite on the album, How Do I Make You Love Me? Gasoline is insane. But, you know, it does have Take My Breath. I Heard You're Married. Like, it does have these tracks that I'm like, Starry Eyes, meh.
Same for me with my ranking. I do like it more than After Hours. It starts a lot better.
100%, yeah.
Some tracks on this album all the way through are hit or miss. That's why I have it so low. But the highs are really high.
And finally, we have Hurry Up Tomorrow. We have the vinyl coming, but it doesn't ship till May or something. We weren't going to wait till May to make this video.
Yeah.
So your last spot is 5?
I have mine at number 5.
I have mine at 4.
Okay. Like I said in the reaction to it, those two albums, Dawn FM and After Hours, super easy to beat.
I've had Hurry Up Tomorrow for a month, and I think it may move up. And I have House of Balloons, Starboy, and Kissland.
That's really hard for mine to move up for me.
It's very hard to crack that top 3, but it might. It is the best curated Weeknd project, point blank, period. Songs transitioning to each other.
Oh, yeah.
There's a sound throughout the album. Like, it gets darker. On top of that, there is a message there.
There's a lot of, it's like character development.
Yeah.
Throughout the album, like how Hurry Up Tomorrow, the final track, he talks about almost like God save me.
Yeah.
And then earlier in the track list, he's questioning it.
That's why I love Hurry Up Tomorrow, because it reminds me of Kissland in that sense, where you could envision yourself in the Weeknd's position. This also has some tracks that I haven't stopped playing. I've listened to Cry For Me, Wake Me Up, and Baptized in Fear every single day since the album came out, and that's not even a joke. The songs on Hurry Up Tomorrow are actually laced with crack. I think what it really is he has just mastered the darkness of After Hours and the synths and like different instrumentation of Dawn FM. You could get elements from every single Weeknd album in Hurry Up Tomorrow. It is actually his magnum opus. I don't think that's a debate anymore. Yeah, I just think it's his most personal album, his darkest album. The number one thing for me is the curation. It feels like an album. Like,
it feels what an album should feel like.
Exactly. And that
Which we don't get that.
you don't get that anymore.
No.
Is it early? Is it just a month? Yes. But I think it's very clear that this album is phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's gonna stick with me.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, that sums up our rankings. On the screen, maybe there'll be a final ranking list or something. But let us know in the comments what your ranking list would be. Instead of getting pissed at us for our opinion, put your opinion so we could dog on you. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you in the next one.